So today is Monday, April 13th, 2015. It's actually day number 6 of Hank's recovery. I'm going to combine days 3, 4, 5, and 6 today in this video simply because on days 3, 4, and 5, Hank actually hit a plateau and there wasn't a lot of change. In fact, he actually, I think, took a step backwards. So we're just going to combine those days and I'll talk about him a little bit here. We continued to give him ice every couple hours. We had to continue giving him water through a syringe. He wasn't drinking on his own. He still wasn't eating his own food, so we nourished him with baked chicken, baked salmon, hamburger, rice, a little bit of everything. And he was extremely irritated. He wouldn't stop licking or trying to lick his wound. We had a cone around his head, so he couldn't get to his actual wound, the incision site, so he would lick the next nearest thing that he could get to, which is his foot. And he would violently lick his foot every time we think he felt pain. And, it starts to get raw, so we put some Vaseline on there from what he would let us do. He's very sensitive when we touch any part of his leg, but we did what we could with that. He holds his potty as long as he possibly can. It's usually 24 hours before he does urinate, and I think it was like on day 4 or day 5 he didn't urinate at all. So he went over 24 hours and he holds it until he absolutely can't hold it anymore. And we know when that is because he'll just get really antsy and he actually starts panting pretty heavily and gets really almost feverishly hot, and then we set him outside until he absolutely has to let go. So hoping that will change soon. We have transitioned him to a crate at night so that I don't have to sleep with him on the floor anymore. And that way we can get some sleep without us worrying about if he is walking around the house. We do have gates up near any furniture or stairs that he could possibly want to jump on. He's pretty depressed and pretty lethargic, which at this point I don't think he would even try it, but you just never know when that one time will be. So we're pretty good with gates. We're pretty good with rugs all over our wood floors. And like I said, keeping him in a kennel at night, even though he doesn't like it. The nights have been long. He's been very uncomfortable, being that he does hold his bladder for so long. It's usually in the middle of the night where he starts fidgeting and panting and, crying and barking until we actually do take him out to release. So that's been a little interesting. And as I stated earlier, Hank has hit a plateau, especially in his walking. He really doesn't want to walk, and we are making him walk with support. As you can see, we kind of have our hands around his rib cage or around his hips, just in case he loses his balance or doesn't have the stability anymore to stay up. So you'll see in these next couple clips of us just trying to get him to walk a couple steps. Treats really work well. I have ground hamburger, which is a great treat for him. He loves it. And normally he would do absolutely anything for ground hamburger. And getting him to walk, he kind of thinks about it for a little bit like, is that ground hamburger worth 2 steps of pain? So it's interesting watching this. And like I said, he'll take a step and then he'll kind of sit down and he'll lick his wound, so that kind of tells me that it is still bothering him a lot. And also sometimes when he sits down really quickly, he still tends to have that small medial rotation of that knee joint. His knee wants to twist underneath him, which it really worries me, and I'll have to ask the vet if this is something that's normal and when they gain muscle mass and gain the right alignment through some therapy, if that gets better. But you'll see it shortly here. When he goes to sit, he just kind of turns the knee underneath him, and it doesn't look very comfortable to me, but yeah, right there you can see how like a little frog leg just kind of tucks right under. In this clip, I'm just coming home, and you can see how I'm entering through the back door. And this is Hank. He is in our entry with a gate with rugs everywhere, so he's in a small contained area with his crate if he feels comfortable and more safe going in there. But he just kind of lays around until we get home. And as you can see, when we do get home, he is excited. Not as excited as he normally is before surgery, but he is doing well here. He, was standing and his tail's wagging, and he shook, and which is a good sign because when he shakes, that means he has weight on both legs. And so yeah, he's a happy boy. He See here, he hobbles back to his bed. He doesn't go very far. Like I said, a couple steps here and there, and that's about all we get. Here's just a video of his great posture outside. He's sitting completely onto his right hip to alleviate any pressure onto his left, and this is just silly. His foot isn't even touching the ground. Again, he looks like a little frog. But yeah, so he likes to sit and he likes to lay, and it's kind of, we're, I feel like I'm forcing the walking, but we're really, maybe max 3 times, 4 times a day, getting him to try to walk for, you know, a total of 5 minutes, but maybe it's a couple seconds per time. So I don't think we're overdoing it. It's hard to know what's right, what's perfect. I do let him, rest a lot. Here you can see how sometimes if the treat's good enough and he really wants it, he'll hop, he'll lift up that back leg, which is what we're trying not to do. So we just got to slow him down a little bit. And here is another great posture. Here his left leg is just stick straight out to the side. Oh dear. And again, we'll be working through that when he's a couple weeks further along with some sit to stands to try to correct that. Here is kind of fun. He wasn't moving at all, and this is day 6, and I was kind of getting down, and finally I'm like, you know what? I'm going to tell him we're going to go for a car ride. And so you saw his little gallop there, right when I said go for a ride. He ran a little bit, and then he stopped. Here it is again, runs a little bit. Now he's at the front of the garage, and he stopped. So that's good. That's the best we've seen so far. And like I said, this is day 6. Day 3, 4, and 5, he wasn't doing much of anything. So I guess I just had to say the magic words, go for a car ride. And here, I was telling him that he couldn't come in the garage and go for a ride until he goes potty. And little does he know, the ride that we're going to is the vet to get a rectal exam to make him go to the bathroom. And so this is really cool. He is happy, his tail's wagging. He's really excited to go for that ride. He's walking around the yard. Should he be going that fast without a leash and holding his leg up? No. He's not done this before. This is something new. I wasn't expecting him to do this because to get him to move before was like moving cement, right? And so I was really surprised that he started running around like this. And you can tell, or I can tell, that he is looking for a spot to go to the bathroom. And he hasn't gone in 6 days. This is day number 6. So I just thought I would let him go, let him hop up on that, hind leg. And this is the corner that he normally goes in. And unfortunately, he could not go. After 6 days, I could just about imagine how tough it is. And so we did bring him into the vet today, and the vet did give him a rectal exam, and sure enough, it helped. He had a bowel movement right at the vet, and I was happy about it. I never thought I'd be so happy about a dog having a bowel movement, but hopefully that will have kick-started his system and he will be regular from here on out. We also changed up a little bit of his medication too, so hopefully that will help his body regulate better too.